Hi, my name is Ria Abraham,
And my name is Metha Sankara,
and this is the Fast Breakdown.
your weekly women's hoops coverage. So today we are going to be talking about the draft, which just happened. It was honestly a pretty shocking draft to me. Like a lot of the stuff that happened, I'm not expecting. We made a mock draft last episode, and we tried our best. I think that what the teams were going for were stuff that we just weren't really expecting. But honestly, it was really exciting to watch. I was on my toes the entire time, and we're excited to discuss it. So the first pick was AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd going to the Dallas Wings. I think that was pretty expected because they got a lot of bigs in free agency, and they needed a shooter in AZ Fudd. They were last in three-point efficiency last season, so as a good get for them, they got AZ Fudd. I don't know if she is the best player in this draft, but I think fit-wise, she makes sense in Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. This was one of the 4 out of the first round that we actually got right. So we did expect AZ Fudd. And you saw the Wings posting all of that 3-5 stuff. It was pretty obvious with their moves and also with what they were doing on social media that they were going to pick AZ Fudd. There just wasn't another option, really. So that was exciting to watch. And then for number 2, so we actually got the number 2 and the number 3 flopped. And I actually think our pick makes more sense. I don't know exactly why they made the choice that they did, but the Lynx picked Olivia Miles, and then the Seattle Storm picked Awa Pham. So this is interesting because I feel like I was thinking of the Lynx team as it was before free agency, where they had a lot of their pieces, and I was like, why would they need an Olivia Miles? But I can kind of see that. But for the Storm, like they already have Dominique Malonga and people who fill the role of our
With
fans. So I think
Ezzy.
it's interesting. Yeah, Ezzy Mack, they just gave her the Super Max. So I was wondering, like, is she just sitting on the bench? I don't know why this choosing her.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Lynx don't really have a center. I mean, I think Dorga Hiu has is coming back, so that'll probably be their center. But they don't really have a really good center. And the Storm don't really have an amazing point guard. They have Ntecha Heidemann, who is really good, don't get me wrong, but I think Olivia Miles is projected to be a better pick in the long-term future. So it's interesting. I kind of feel like they flip-flop. And I don't know if they really matched towards the needs of each of their organizations as they did more that they were just going for the best available player. But either way, I wouldn't be upset with either of those draft picks. Those make total sense. And I think that they are both going to end up being really good players. I can see both of them making all rookie teams. Maybe Olivia Miles making an all-star team, and I can see all of them developing into being the best center in the league. So it'll be interesting to see them develop.
So for number 4, her second correct one, we have Lauren Betts going to the Washington Mystics. So we mentioned last time about how they were probably going to keep Shakira Austin, so we weren't sure what role exactly Lauren Betts was going to play, if she was going to be coming off the bench. But we'll see how this goes because they do have, the Mystics have Shakira Austin, Kiki Iriafen, who kind of do a similar role as Lauren Betts, so we'll see how she fits in. She was probably the best player available, not necessarily the best fit for the Mystics.
Yeah, the Mystics, as you'll see with later picks, they really stacked up on bigs on this draft, which was not necessary because they don't have any shooters. They needed shooters. They didn't get any shooters. Okay, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, Lauren Betts was a good pick. I think she was, again, the best available player. But she'll be playing behind Shakira Austin, as the GM said. So it'll be interesting to see. I think she'll learn a lot. But I also think that she might be a future trade later in the season or maybe next year. It'll be interesting to see how she develops because, being 6'7" in the league, it's pretty hard. They are shifting more towards mobile bigs and not people that just kind of stand around. I mean, that's not all Lauren Betts does, but it'll be interesting to see whether her game actually translates. Because, on the college level, as a 6'7" player, you're going to be dominating every game. In the WNBA, it's not like that. You have better defenders. You have guards that are more shifty and that can cross you. So it'll be super interesting to see. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good pick by the Mystics, other than the fact that she will probably not be starting.
So next pick really makes me upset. It's the number 5 Sky picking Gabriela Jaquez. You know who I love? Gabriela Jaquez. You know who I really wanted the Valkyries to pick? Gabriella Hawkes. And I was thinking, I don't think the Valkyries are gonna pick her. She was projected lower, like I just hope that we didn't even get the chance.
Yeah, Gabriella Hawkes going 5 was by far the biggest upset in the entire draft.
She's not
She
like
was
I'm
her
sorry, I
draft
love
stock
her.
rose crazily because of the tournament. Like, she actually like, her performance was good, don't get me wrong, it was amazing, but at the same time, her rising, like, 10 spots because of her tournament performance is actually insane. There's no way that you can justify taking her over taking Kiki Rice, over taking Flaude Johnson, like, better players. So, it is, like, just super interesting to see overall. But, that is the Chicago Sky for you. She's still an amazing player. She'll be a good part of their team, good rotational piece, but I feel like her going at 5 was a complete overshoot.
And then, so next one, we have the Tempo picking up Kiki Rice, which I think was really smart for them. I think Kiki Rice is a super versatile player, and I think she's going to do well on this new team and kind of work alongside. It'll be nice watching her with Marina Mabrey, seeing how they click and seeing how that works on the Tempo. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the Kiki Rice pick too. I thought she was gonna go 5, she went 6, but overall, she's a player that every single team needs. Athletic, she is a good defender, she makes these really insane layups sometimes that I'm like, "What the heck? Like, how did you do that?" So, honestly, good pick by the Tempo, I like that. And then number 7, they picked, I believe they
Ayana
picked oh,
Martin.
Aina
So
Martin.
we actually guessed this one right as well. We were thinking, Valkyries, what do they do? Go international. New expansion team, what are they going to do? Go international. And guess what? We were right. So
Yeah, Aina Martin is a good pick, but this is a draft and stash. She's not playing next year. Again, another fire tank tactic. I mean, I know the Valkyries did the same thing last year where they had Yuste Yoside and they ended up stashing her, but they still ended up doing good. But the Fires were all struggling nowhere near what the Valkyries were last year. So I don't know. I think it's a good pick. She's a really good player, but at the same time, she's not going to be playing this year, so we will not be able to evaluate her performance in the coming months. Yeah, it's a good pick. I think she was projected to go around in that area. So good.
and then we have the Valkyries who are actually pissing me off right now. Okay. So it was crazy that Flage dropped this low. She didn't really have a great year, but like she was someone who was in the contention for like the top couple draft spots. And then after this year, she like went eighth, which I thought was interesting that she dropped. I mean, it's not too crazy, but then what did the Valkyries do with her? What do the Valkyries do when they get Flage Johnson? What do they decide to do?
Yeah,
Kick
and
her
they
out.
decided to trade her. Yeah, that was an interesting decision. Flaude Johnson was definitely one of the names that they needed to kind of keep the franchise going. They have Gabby Williams, but I feel like having another franchise star would help so much. Like, I don't even think at that point it really matters how much of basketball value Flaude Johnson brings, but like just her name in general. Like, she's gonna bring people. I don't know if the Valkyries really struggle with that. Maybe that was their thinking. Like, we don't really need a reason for us to get like more popular. We're already super popular. Now we need basketball players to get into the championship contention conversation. But um who they traded for, I don't know if she was really a better pick than Flaude.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what. I feel like, I mean, it was such a quick trade. They clearly never wanted to keep Flage, which I thought was just an icky thing to do. Just
I think
pick up.
I read somewhere that they wanted to draft Marta Suarez. Um, but the 8th pick, it was, like, too high for her. I think they wanted to get the best value, so they ended up drafting Flaude and then trading her because they wanted to go for the best player and then get the most value out of the best player, which I don't really think they did, to be very honest. But, I think that was a logic there. I Their scouting reports, I guess, were never really Flaude oriented, which is sad because she looked really happy to get drafted to the Valkyries. I think anyone would be wear that purple, rep that Bay Area. So that was kind of sad. But she got traded to the Storm and I'm really excited to see her on the Storm, honestly. Still West Coast, so we have that.
My next pick. This one was surprising. We actually didn't have this player in our top 15. So the Mystics, with their second first round draft pick, they picked Angela Dugalich.
Yeah, so she was a bench player for UCLA this year, but I guess also, like, she's not actually a real bench player, like, she plays starting minutes, but she just is on the bench because they wanted to make room for Charlie's Ledger Walker and, have more of a championship chance, and she just took a step back, was on the bench, and she was still gave it her all and was amazing this season. So, you know what? I don't know if I would have her going this high. She's good, but she doesn't really shoot that well, and, um I think especially as the Mystics picture, the Mystics have a lot of bigs, they really don't need another one, so that was an interesting pick by them. She's a versatile player, though, I will say that, and, if they're able to develop her well, if she continues improving, then she will be a really nice pick. I'm kinda mad at the Mystics right now because they really didn't pick any shooters when that was all they needed from this draft, literally all bigs. It's crazy.
So next pick, we have the Fever, who picked Raven Johnson. I think Raven Johnson was also someone that I thought would go a little higher than this, than some of the people who got called. But she had a really good tournament, I think. I mean, she definitely struggled in the finals, and there were some moments when other players on the team definitely stepped up more than her. So I guess that might be part of it. But Raven Johnson is a really good point guard, and a lot of teams who needed point guards didn't take her, which I thought was
Yeah, I thought
interesting.
what was interesting about her getting drafted by the Fever is we actually originally had Gianna Neekins here, and the logic here, the Fever have Caitlin Clark, their primary point guard. After that, they add Ty Harris, their backup point guard. What the hell is Raven Johnson doing on their team? Like third point, like was she gonna play off ball? Is Ty Harris gonna become a shooting guard? Like what is happening? I don't understand the pick there. Like I think Amber Cox, the Fever GM, was saying like we didn't expect her to be available because we thought she'd go 4 or 5, so we drafted her. But like the Fever don't need her. I don't understand that pick at all. I think Raven Johnson did deserve to go high, but I think this was the wrong team to go to.
Yeah, I think she could have definitely thrived in a place where, like, there's so many teams that need a good point guard. They don't have one, and then we just send her to a place where they have the role that she fills. It's just already filled, and I feel like she's not gonna have the experience that she could have had in her rookie season. And I don't know that she's gonna be at the Fever for long. Don't they don't need her.
And then the Mystics pick again. Again, as I was saying, they stack up on draft picks like a lot. So yeah, 3 picks in the first round. They picked Cody McMahon, who is a good pick. I like that. Again, the problem is that talented player, not the right fit. Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I really loved watching Cody McMahon at Ole Miss this season. She came from, she transferred in, and she was really impactful for them, even though they didn't manage to win against Minnesota. But she definitely showed how great of a player is and how good she could be on a WNBA team, but just a team where she's needed. Again, I don't know why they're taking players that are not what they need. Cody McMahon is a great player, absolutely phenomenal. Why do the Mystics need her? I just don't understand. I guess we'll see what they do. Maybe all these teams are gonna make trades at the beginning of the season once they see how things work out, and maybe they're gonna like drop half their players. Like, who knows? But still, I wish she'd gone to a team where her need would have been a little bigger. You could see what she's gonna do on that team, see the impact that she can make.
So next we have the Connecticut Sun taking Nally Gloma. It's a good pick. She is, I think I've seen this before, she is one of the highest free throw rates in her draft class because she just draws so many fouls, which is pretty cool, pretty impressive. If she develops a jump shot, she'll be unstoppable. And that's a great pick. She's young. She has all the tools to be an amazing player. So yeah, that's a pretty good pick from the Sun.
Yeah, the Sun have really been picking, like, again, they're rebuilding, they're getting a lot of young players. They're really sticking with a lot of their rookies, and they're really trying to just get players that they can develop so that in the future they can really be a contender like they were when they had a bunch of stars. And then next pick, one that we actually also got right, Medina Okot to the Atlanta Dream. So this one is another interesting pick because now that I think about who they have on their roster, I don't know that I would have even expected Medina Okot because she plays center, and I feel like the Dream are a team that half their centers. Like, they did lose Brittany Griner, but she was never a huge part of their puzzle. They have Brianna Jones, and they have other people who could I guess she's just gonna be, probably a bench player who's gonna come in and fill in for Brianna Jones when they do need her off, so she'll be developing there and hopefully, learning a lot.
I know they mentioned in the draft that she started basketball when sh in 2019. She was pretty old. So, you know what? She has a lot of time and room to develop, and I really hope the not the fever, the dream are a place where she can develop her skills and hone them in. Because I know she only got 2 years of college eligibility, which is crazy. She could have definitely gotten more. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she develops on the dream. I think that she will not get a lot of playing time, but also she has such an amazing diverse skill set. She shoots threes. She's 6'6". That's just amazing. The spacing just gets crazy from there. So yeah, good pick. I like that pick. Um, and then 14, the Seattle Storm. This is probably the most surprising, one of the more surprising picks, is they picked Tiana Mar from Duke.
Yeah, I did not see this one coming. I did not see her going first round. I didn't even see her in anyone's conversation for this. I know she was a good player for Duke, but when you think Duke, everyone is thinking Toby Fournier, who obviously wasn't eligible for this year's draft. And so she's plays well for them, but she never I never thought she was a player that would go first round. I guess that Seattle is trying to really pick up players. They got Al Fam, so they got a center, and then Tyna Mare plays point guard. So I guess they're trying to I don't know. Do they have a point guard right now on Natisha Heidemann?
I mean,
Does she play
Jeanette
point guard?
Hatterene, yeah. So
Yeah, I guess that they were trying to get backup point guard. We'll see how
yeah,
that
it's
goes.
definitely a draft more for fit than for talent. We'll see how that one is. Definitely not in the conversation. She ended up getting there. But, Duke also surprised us. Duke made it to the Elite Eight. They beat LSU, so maybe she'll be the Duke version in the draft. It'll be cool. And then I think the final pick in the first round is Jenna Neepkins going to the Connecticut Sun. My personal opinion on this, she got picked too late. So many teams needed a shooter, did not draft her. Is there, like, an underlying reason for this? Like, I wanna know. I know she was a little inconsistent last season, but she had a near 40, 50, 90 season. Like, how can you not draft that player? The Mystics needed a shooter, and they had 3 opportunities to get a shooter, and neither of those 3 opportunities did they pick up Jenna Neepkins. So that's insane. I think she'll be a good fit on the Sun, though. Yeah, I'm
Also,
happy that she went first round.
Also, is crazy seeing 5 UCLA players go first round. We've been talking about how there's so many seniors and how they're all pro ready, and clearly the WNBA team thought the same thing. 5 of them going first round out of the 6 was crazy. So that's it's gonna be interesting to see UCLA next year. They don't really have anyone, so we'll see how
Yeah, I
that
know they've
goes.
gotten a few transfers in, but yeah, they lost everyone.
And then, so for round 2, we're going to talk about a couple of these picks. Probably not everyone, since we're not so familiar with most of these players, but the ones that we do know. So we have the Seattle Storm picked Marta Suarez. Like we said, again, Marta Suarez and a 2028 second round pick were traded to the Valkyries for Flau'jae Johnson. So it's going to be great to see Flau'jae on Seattle and see how that goes, and see Marta on the Valkyries. And hopefully it's a good fit for her. But it's really an interesting trade. We don't even know why that happened. And then, so next player that I know is our 6th UCLA player, Charlize Ledger-Walker, who got drafted by the Sun. What do you think about that?
Definitely a good pick for them. I know that they do have the point guard position filled already, so I don't know if they really need they have Layla Khan, who's amazing. So I don't know if they really need her, but I think that she was an amazing player in her batting years of college, and she's been in college for 6 years, which is probably why she got drafted later than most of the UCLA players because she's older than most of them. But yeah, good pick. I really like her. She has really good scoring abilities, ball handling, and everything. And yeah, I like that one. I'm kinda sad. I was really sad for her because she didn't get invited to, like, the draft with everyone else, and I was like, "Oh, no, just invite her at that point, bro, like, you can invite her." But yeah, cool to see her drafted. I think another notable player is Sanaya Latson dropping to almost mid-second round. Surprised by that a little bit because Taniyah Latson is a player that led the nation in scoring before she transferred to South Carolina. She goes to South Carolina and she drops to like mid-second round. It's insane because she has like, amazing like innate scoring abilities that not many prospects have. I suppose it's maybe the height that kind of weighed her down because she's like 5'8" and like shorter side of 5'8", to be honest. That kind of seems like a fudge number to me. But yeah, what do you think about Taniyah Latson dropping so low?
It was crazy that so many players went above Tania Latson, Cassandra Prosper, for example, was right above her when, Mystics chose her for Notre Dame, and, I mean, she was good for Notre Dame, but she was nowhere near, like, their best player. Obviously, everyone on Notre Dame was kinda getting carried a little bit, and while she was good, I don't see her going above Tania Latson. I feel like Tania Latson is such a good player, and I thought it was crazy that she even dropped a second round and then, like, so many teams passing up on her. I did not expect that. So we'll see. But it's gonna be exciting seeing her on the Sparks. Hopefully I hope she'll get some minutes. I hope she gets some solid minutes so we can see her play with some of the vets and see how that goes. I think the Sparks are a nice team for her.
Yeah, and I think the next interesting player here is the fact that Janiyah Barker dropped to
Funny
second to
night.
last pick. Yeah, it's crazy. Janiyah Barker's a really good player, and I guess what they were thinking here is that her innate talent is enough to get her drafted in the first round. Her, I think, Ner is kinda what dropped her really low, and that coupled with Tennessee's lack of success really dropped her down. I guess, like, front offices really didn't wanna deal with that, which honestly, it's kinda sad because she has so much talent, and to be very honest, she's the Aces pick, correct? Yeah, Aces pick. So if the Aces do end up getting her in shape and she ends up being an amazing player, that is such a steal for the Aces, getting her at 29.
Yeah. And only other player I know in the second round is Ashlyn Jackson, who went to the Valkyries from Duke. So she was another player I didn't expect to go very high. I guess mid-second round does make a lot of sense for her. She's the one who made that buzzer beater three to beat LSU in the March Madness. And we'll see how she does at the Valkyries. I don't know that she's gonna get a lot of minutes if she makes the team because the Valkyries do have their shooters. They have Chechi and they have other people who make the threes. So I don't know that she'll get a lot of time, but I'm hoping that she is able to get time and hopefully make the team. And then for third round, so I know two of these players, which is Sarah Williams and Rory Harmon. So, I think it was crazy that they both dropped to 3rd round. What do you think?
So Sarah Williams going 3rd round is, like, diabolical by UConn because she was projected to be a first-round pick before she went to UConn. She was averaging 19 a game, and then she went to UConn, averaged 6 a game. Sometimes that's just the way it works, transferring from, like, mid D1 to, like, the top of the pack. That's kind of just what happens, and teams saw that and when, like, she probably is not WNBA ready. Like, she seemed pretty scared the entire time she was at UConn and wasn't really sure of herself, and she has talent, and I just don't think she was used correctly in UConn, and I'm excited to see what she does, not on the Sun, but on the Fire because she got traded to the Fire.
Did she? I did not see that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, I think she was, like, saying, "I found it in the elevator. I got traded from the Sun to Fire." So, yeah, interesting trade. Excited to see her there, and I think she'll get minutes on the Fire because the Fire are not a great team right now. They don't have many prospects. I can see her making that team and getting minutes, or at least a development spot.
And
Yeah,
then
and then Rory Harmon. Rory
I think
Harmon
her
is
main I think that her main thing kind of holding people back from drafting her is probably her height. She's kinda short, only I think 5'8", 5'6", 5'6". Yeah, so it's hard to play the W when you're only 5'6". I'm saying this over here like I'm 5 foot, poor girl, but
she's
she's such
4'11", it's hard for her.
Okay, sorry, I'm 5'1.5" so please don't come at me right now. Rory Harmon has shown herself in Texas this year as, like, a really great player. She played great for Texas, especially early in the season, but Texas did get, blown out by UCLA, and Rory Harmon hasn't really, necessarily shown that she would be great in the W, but 3rd round, I thought she would go 2nd round above some of these people who I don't even know that they exist.
Yeah. Roy Harmon is a good player, and she was a good player for Texas. Yeah, I think the height was really, like, a factor here. You know, they saw the sky took Haley Van Lith in the first round last year after she had an amazing season at ECU, and she did not play well for the Sky. It's, like, kinda sad because she's a very good player, but it's just kinda the height at that level, you need to be a little taller. Haley Van Lith was getting destroyed, and honestly, I can imagine the same thing for Rory Harmon. Also, though, Rory Harmon got drafted to the Mystics, and honestly, they don't have a lot of players right now and not a lot of point guard talent, so I could see her potentially making a team, making development spots, so it'll be interesting for her. Yeah, and then I guess another player in this round is Toni Morgan to Kentucky getting drafted. That's a good pick. She was kind of a reason in Kentucky's success because they had kind of an up and down season. They won a lot, they lost a lot. But when they did win, they were good quality wins, and a lot of them were because of Toni Morgan. So I'm excited to see her there. But yeah, that is our draft coverage. This was definitely an interesting draft with the trades made by both the Valkyries and the Fire Sun thing. And a lot of the picks were not what we were expecting.
Thank you for watching. We will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and if you want to see more breakdowns from us, check us out on TikTok and Spotify. Thank you for watching.